Alright, so I'm going to do kind of an organic Victorian style chair. And so the first thing that I want to do, let me just do new, don't save. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to build the leg. Alright, now the leg is simply built like that. And I don't need all these pieces to start out with. So I can build it a couple different ways. The first way I can do it is um, I can just add some height and we can kind of scale. Oops, I created it wrong. Okay, so I'm just going to add some height here. And then because it's a leg and it's built on the corner, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a modifier to this before I do anything else. I'm just going to add a taper modifier. And what taper does is, and figure out the right direction here. What taper does is basically bends that in kind of narrows it out here. So you can actually control a number of different things here with it. So the taper modifier actually works pretty well for the most part. And then you can actually curve it out and do some things with it that way too as well. So that's one way to do it. You can also do symmetry. There's a number of different ways to play with this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a bend modifier on there real quick. And what bend will do is kind of, let's get that in the Y direction. So what bend will do is kind of put it in that correct position already, and everything is kind of rotated accordingly. Now, I can do it this way. Otherwise, the other way to do it is, let's just undo the move here and delete the bend. So I've got the taper in there. I'm going to collapse all into a editable poly here, and I'm just right clicking for that. And then what I can do here is I'm going to just rotate this 45 degrees. So I'm going to turn on my angle snap here and basically angle it 45 degrees, and then I can turn on my piece there and then just start moving left and right. And because it's a 45 degree, I can easily get the curves that I want, and I can adjust and scale and move. And so you can see really quickly I can build in more detail and stuff like that. Now to some extent what I can do is I can add more geometry in here. Say I wanted to have like that claw foot in there. I can actually just go into let's just go into the loops here. Actually, let's go here and we can just do an insert loop. Oops. And do it in this one here. Just go insert, and that'll insert one loop here, and grab this one here and insert another loop here. And then what I can do with this is just grab these two loops and let's grab this one here. And from the top view, I'm going to just zoom in. So from the top view, I'm just going to move that inward a little bit. And then on the outer loop here, I'm going to grab that and I'm going to move that inward as well. And then I'm going to grab this here, these pieces, and I'm going to spread them outward a little bit. And that's going to give me just some geometry to play with. And what I'm going to do here is basically bevel, and I'm going to do it as a polygon, not going to do 10. We don't need that. We're just going to bevel it as, there we go. That looks, just a hair down. And there we go. Just something like that. And just get it out a little bit, and let's shrink it in a little bit. Okay, so by doing that, I've just created like the claw foot, and I can actually just grab that and pull that out a little bit more. And you know, I could probably do a quick slice here. So I'm just going to really quickly do a quick slice, and then that's going to grab, oops, I don't want to do that. I'm going to just do a quick slice on the whole thing here, just to keep my looping kind of nice. And then I'm grabbing this here, and I'm just going to pull it out. And so you can see really quickly I can, you know, build up. It's all about building up the shape. Here I'm going to just grab this, and let's twist this inward a little bit so it's not so. And then we're going to kind of pull that in as well. So that's kind of my claw foot that I'm going to start with, and then from there I can build out my shapes and build out things accordingly. So that's my foot, and then what I'm going to do, oops, don't want to bend that. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply grab a spline here, line, and I'm going to, actually, you know what, we'll just do box modeling here. So I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to bring this over like so, like that. Very simple, very easy. And zoom in on this, and then what I'm going to do is lower this, raise this a little bit, probably something like that, and I think that's good. Then what I'm going to do is add an editable poly on there, and just really quickly grab some of this stuff, and I'm going to pull this down here like this. We'll grab these two and pull them down like that. You can get more detailed in this. You can add in, you know, there's a ton of things that you can add in. You can go in here and do insets. Let's inset this. So we can inset these. And go in here and add an inset there. Scale that up a little bit to kind of match things. But you can go in and add the insets, and then if you want, you can actually go in and we can extrude these in. And you can use bump maps if you wanted to kind of put detail and design in there. I'm not going to worry about that right now. And I'm just going to kind of extrude that in like so. And then when that's all done, I'm just going to add a little bit of a bend modifier on there, and we can just bend, not that way, not that way, no, not that way. So we can just kind of curve that around and bend it accordingly, and kind of, there's our initial piece. And so what we're doing is we're piecing these things together so that they make sense. And now with that bend in there, what I could do is kind of go in and play with the geometry, and we can match them up, and I'll do that in a second. But what I'm going to do right now is grab this, and let's go and convert it into an editable poly. And so there's my editable poly, and I'm going to go in to my polygon mode here, grab that polygon and delete it. I'm going to go in and click on this one here and just move it over a little bit. And then what I'm going to do is, let's go in here and I can grab that and hit delete on there too. Now that I've got two open passages, what I can do is I'm just going to grab this edge here and pull it down just so it looks a little bit better. And then what I'm going to do is just start tightening up these two closer together. And I think let's rotate this just a hair to make it look a little bit more interesting. And so then when you've got this done now, what you can do, I'm going to separate this a little bit more. So now what you can do is you can go into here and you click the target weld and you're going to grab, oops, before we do target weld, we're going to go further down and we're going to attach this to this. And so by doing so, I now can go into target weld and I can snap this one to here. And I can grab this one and snap it to here, this one and snap it to there, and there we go. So now that's all one piece, and I have, you know, my base of my chair. You know, I can easily go in and start, you know, I could actually easy enough to just go in here, grab all of this, and I can delete that, and then let's do, actually before we delete, let's just detach that. And yeah, I'm just going to detach it to an object, and for giggles, what else I'm going to do is take this, move it over here, rotate it 90 degrees or so, move this, and basically this creates the back side of my chair. Now when you get these floaty things like this, when you delete mesh, you can always go to a pivot and just say center to object and you're fine. Alright, so I'm going to go in and grab this polygon right there, delete that, and I'm going to go in and grab the same polygon that on this other one here. Oops. And grab this and delete that, and go back into the edge again like I said, and move that a little bit lower. Grab this, probably rotate it around just a hair, kind of get that nice and lined up, and then, I don't know, I'll do it different. So I'm going to grab these vertices down here and we're just going to kind of adjust them differently. So it's kind of the same style, but it's a little bit different. And then again, go here, go into attach that piece, go here, go to target weld, and then that one's going to go back. These two are probably going to just snap real close together. This one up here can snap up there, and then let's put this over here. So that basically creates my base there. And you know, to be honest with you, now that I see this, I screwed it up because instead of pushing it to the outside, or I should have pushed it to the outside here instead of the inside. So I can either detach it or so what I want to do is essentially take this, delete that, take all of this plus this piece and that piece. We can scroll here real quick, detach, and this time we're just going to detach the element, and I'm going to move that forward here, maybe a little bit closer. And then with that all said and done, these are all still together as one piece. So it's just a matter of going in, and you can either kind of join these together. So I average them out with a collapse. Let's right click collapse. I've got a hotkey set. Or let's grab these two, collapse, and then we can go here to target weld, grab that one there and that one there. And then if you're worried about this piece here, it's as simple as going here, grabbing it and saying cap, and it's in there and done. So now that I've got these four pieces, or this corner piece here, I can easily take this and we can add a symmetry modifier on there. And so with the symmetry, what we're going to do is go into the mirror, move this piece over, and notice it's a little bit awkward in the top view. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate like so and snap together, and that looks pretty good. And then that's done. And then on this piece, what I'm going to do is go in and add a symmetry again. And we're going to do here something like this. And then we're going to go here into the mirror. Let's start rotating this around, something like that, and then grab it, and there we go. So we've got a base now for our chair to pretty much lie on. And then from there, what we can do is, you know, that's the basic concept for the chair. It looks relatively decent. And then what I can do from here is I can start building up other pieces. And in this case, what I'm going to do is just go here and grab actually go to extended primitives, add a chamfer box, and like so, maybe a little bit higher, and kind of rounding it out like that. And then basically moving that on top of like this. And then with that in mind, what we're going to do is we're going to add 1 and 1. And then we can go editable poly. And then all I'm going to do here is simply go into here, and that looks relatively decent. And so that's basically the first cushion. And then if you wanted, you can clone this for like a hassock if you want, but we want to do the back next. And so I'm going to pause it here, and then we'll start on the back. All right.